Grandma's Kitchen.
There's a fiddle tune and a wooden spoon while she's stirring and singing. There's friends leaving or family land, and then the phone's usually ringing. No matter who you are or what you've done, everything's forgiven.
Thank God. Thank God.
Thank God. Grandma's Kitchen. And ain't it good to be in Grandma's Kitchen?
Grandma's Kitchen.
Hello everybody! Mary Janet here from Tunes and Wooden Spoons, and welcome back for another week. Well, it's been an awesome week, as you know, and thank you all for commenting on the family pictures we posted the other day. It's been just a kind of a rush in every way to have all of them together at one time. And now they're scattered and all of that. So today, though, I am very excited to have two here with me. So before we start baking, I am first going to call on the oldest. And this is our oldest daughter, Tammy. Hi. And Tammy is home from Fort McMurray, and she is the one, Tammy Stanley, or what's your handle on Facebook? Tamara Ann. She's the one that will help post corrections and answers, and she keeps an eye on those darn trolls and makes sure that I answer emails if I've missed some. And she said, "Mom, did you do that? Did you do that?" So anyway, and she is the pampered chef person that so many of you have supported. So thank you for that. And she's got 4 boys, and they're big boys. The oldest is 22. The next one is going to be 21, or is 21? Is he?
Will be 21.
Well, will be 21. Yeah, and that's pretty soon. And then going to be 19, and a boy that's going to be 17. So, yeah, she was a busy mom, just like me. So now she's home for 6 weeks. It's awesome. So that's wonderful. And the thing is, her boys all went together and got her a ticket to come home, and even spoke to her boss about her getting her vacation so that they could get the ticket. Wasn't that so sweet? So, pretty nice. Anything you want to say to our followers, Tammy?
No, I'm just happy to be with you, Mom.
I know. Pretty nice. I know she's been in tears many times, as have I, and missing home and just all of that. So it's just a pleasure. And now can bring in the girl that made me start Tunes and Wooden Spoons.
Hello, everybody.
This is Margie. Margie's the one who said, "Mom, why don't you just go on Facebook and tell everybody how to make your cinnamon rolls?" I remember that conversation so very well.
My best idea to date,
Yes.
for sure.
So that's pretty awesome. And she's home from Fort McMurray as well, and has taken a leave of absence from a position out there, and she's now in Nova Scotia. And we're going to try to hang on to her as long as we can. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Anybody wants a great employee? She can't teach while she's on leave of absence. She's a senior high math teacher. So there's any great employers out there in Nova Scotia who want a really smart gal who can do anything, great photographer, you just never know. So anyway, this is Margie, and this is Tammy. So there we go. Here they are. They're going to be around today if I need them, so I'm going to put them to use if I need them. And we have, okay, thank you, girls. So today I made a mistake in my bookings. I thought that I had booked a group, and I put them in as confirmed, and that was my fault. I messed up on that, and that happens now again. And I thought that maybe I could convince Mitchell and Gordy to come over, and Gordy is also home and flying back to Alberta on Tuesday, and he will never solo, but he would play with Mitchell. But It's the absolutely perfect beach day here today. The sun is shining, it's hot, and he is taking the kids to the beach. Mitchell is, so cannot be here when I need some. There's some downtime when we're doing stuff here and when the cheesecakes are cooling, but you know what? That's okay. You're just going to have to put up with myself. So hello, all you beautiful people. Oh, yes. Hello from Ottawa. I just see that. Hi. Hi there. So here we are. And it's been a year and a half, and I just want to say thank you so much for all your kind responses and plans to purchase the cookbook. You probably have every recipe already that's going to be in the book. There's a few extra in there and a few little extra things. So I really do appreciate the interest that you've expressed, and the publisher is so happy as well for your responses, because that makes them happy. And so just to clarify, no book will be in my hands until the 1st of September. So, but that was the cover that we presented there, that we finally decided on. And I mean, some people have commented that were disappointed that it wasn't my kitchen and whatever. And I mean, yeah, my kitchen is, it is what it is. I mean, we've been looking at maybe updating or painting the cupboard since a long time, but it takes Cecil a long time to come around to painting anything. And he said by the time he'll say yes to painting, we'll be back to brown cupboards instead of white cupboards, right? In the whole style world. But anyway, the publisher felt, you know what, all of you would probably want to buy the cookbook anyway. And what they're trying to do is create a bright and pretty cover that will look to people who are not followers and who would want to buy that cookbook just because they like the brightness and niceness of the cover. And I really do like the kitchen. I do. And maybe someday I'll have mine similar to that. So, hello Marilyn Bob Johnson from Glace Bay. So let's get started. This won't be a very long process, but there is a moment where I'm going to put the cooked cheesecakes into the fridge just to chill a little bit, and we'll have some conversation before we make the chocolate ganache. And I have some other things that I can talk to you about, and we'll just have a good little visit here in my Cape Breton kitchen. Thank you. I know, all of you are just so darn nice. Okay, so we're going to get started, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my hands, and you're going to set your oven to 350, okay? There now. So printed off the recipe, and the very first thing we're going to do that, and we're going to make the base, which is I'm using just chocolate crumbs, just a no-name brand, or you know, there's Oreo cookie crumbs. There's lots of things out there that you can have. So I'm making mine with a chocolate cookie crumb base. But if you wanted a graham base, you can certainly do that. If you want no base, they're delicious with no base. You know, if somebody is, you know, gluten intolerant, you can have no base on it, and just the cheesecake will cook just really nicely as it is. And if you don't want any nuts in it, but I like to put the nuts in mine if I'm making them for somebody special. I do have Aiden, our grandson, who is severely allergic to nuts, so he understands that when I'm making things with nuts in it. And so there we go. All right, we're going to start with 1.5 cups of chocolate cookie crumbs, or your crumbs of choice. I'm going to put the camera down here so you can see. Okay, so it's 1.5. So I'm using my 1/2 cup measure here. It's a 1/2. You're gonna take these out. There now. I should have pre-measured. I'll get another, I have another bag and I'll fill that in. So, there we go, 1.5. And into that, you're going to put some brown sugar. You're going to put 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. And I'm just going to give that a little stir. And into that, I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of melted butter. So I have my butter pre-measured. I'm just going to put it in the microwave for about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So that actually took about 20 seconds. Stir that. And I'm just going to take a fork and just mix that up. Nicely mixed. Okay, I'm just going to use my fingers a little bit, which I like to do that. So just make sure that it's just the butter is well incorporated. Okay, that's perfect. Now I'm going to go wash my hands, but I have this recipe makes 16. Around 16, and I already put a paper liner in each one, just a regular muffin liner. Just a minute, I'm going to go wash my hands off. So here are my muffin tins, and I just have another one with 6 in it. Now some people, you want to half this recipe, you certainly could, if you've chosen that before now. And also, some people weren't sure what size of a muffin tin, thinking maybe it was the mini ones, you know, the little tartlet ones. But no, this is the size that I make, but you can certainly make it in the mini one if you so choose. I put about a tablespoon in each one. I'm going to go around and I'm going to do that first. Put a tablespoon. There we go. Now, I find with the graham wafers, I will use a glass to, you know, to pat it down. But I find if you pat the chocolate crumbs down, like with the glass, and make it kind of tight, the chocolate will tend to be kind of hard, like, and maybe separate from the cheesecake. You kind of don't want that. So I'm just going to push it down with my fingers. So it's fairly firm, but not really hard, like if I push down with the bottom of the glass. Doesn't take a minute. You're going to have crumbs left over, and that's fine. You can sprinkle some on the top, or you can make more perhaps. All right, I think that's it. We're just going to set that over here, and we're not cooking it first, not cooking the crust first. How's everybody? Hi, Lisa Ward. How are you all doing? I love all your hearts. So nice to see that. So we're going to make the filling now. And this is such an easy recipe and a quick and easy recipe. You just need time for it to cool in the refrigerator if you're going to serve them for a supper, perhaps, whatever. So what I'm going to get ready. Oh, hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. We're back online, I think. I really don't know. I'm using data, but of course we're here. So in rural Cape Breton, and they promise by mid to late 2022 that we'll have better internet. So I'm hoping that will happen. Tammy's confirming that I am live. Okay, so we're good to go. We'll do a quick job of this, okay? Okay. Can someone respond and tell me that I am good to go? Checking in from Aylmer, Quebec. Hello, Maureen. And it's just, you know what? I don't know if it's to do with the weather or the beautiful. It shouldn't. Yes. Hi, all. Just from seeing my family for the first time in a year. Michelle LeCoin. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. So I'm going to keep on going here, and I hope. Hi. Thank you, Holly. I'm going to continue on. So we're just going to start the filling now. So let's get started and hope that this doesn't interrupt again. All right. Thank you, Marion. All right. We're going to go down here. So I'm using a deep bowl, and I already took out my my cream cheese that's been, I always take mine out the night before. and it has absolutely been fine. So I'm basically going to cut it up and cube the two packages. And just break that up. And just cut it up into blocks. And that will help make it easier to mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly start to mix that and cream the cream cheese on low for starting. It's nicely mixed up, and to that we're going to add the 2 room temperature eggs. Mine have been out. They're still kind of cool to the touch. They've been out maybe an hour, so I'm going to add both of them in at the same time. My good farmer's eggs from just down the road. And let's beat that till it's all together. Okay, so that's the cream cheese and the eggs. And into that we're going to add 1/2 cup of white sugar. I'm going to add it all together. And I'm also going to add my vanilla at this time, and it's a teaspoon. It's a brand new bottle, my favorite. And thank you, Kathleen Boyle, if you're watching today. Thank you. And that's all there is to your filling. I'm just going to beat that up now. Okay, I'm just going to stir that up. That's perfect. I hope all of you have found the recipe. I posted it half an hour before the show began, so it's in the previous post to the live stream. And also, or you can pop over to the website, tunesandwoodenspoons.com, look under recipes and scroll all the way to the bottom, and that's where you will find the latest recipe. All right. Hi, everybody. Anybody have any questions? I'm going to get my muffin tins over here. And I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of batter in each one, and then I'll probably go back over if there's any extra and use that up. And this is the point where you can put the batter in now, or this is where you would put like your nuts. I like to put the nuts in at this point. So I have pecan pieces, and I'm just going to sprinkle some in each one, and then we'll add the batter, okay? Or you don't have to do that at all, and choose what you like to do. All right. I suppose I put but 5 or 6. It doesn't really matter. I just love feeling the crunch of the pecans, whatever you say. You can't go wrong with cheesecake. And I really like the mini cheesecakes because they're just a dessert all on their own. So easy to serve without having to cut it up. Okay, that's good. Now the beauty of I have this measuring spoon, which is exactly 2 tablespoons. So, but I would put, if you're measuring out, I would put 2 tablespoons in each one. So, just like that. And the thing of it is, when you're cooking these little mini cheesecakes, when they come out of the oven, and they look so nice, and some of them will have a little crack in it, and that's fine. I'm not worried about that. And sometimes when you cool them, then they'll just sink down in the middle somewhat, and that's okay. It's going to be the perfect spot to put what you would like to put on it, you know. I'm going to put the chocolate ganache, and you can put just like a little well in it if you like, or like I did, I wanted to use the whole thing since I had made it, and just cover the whole top of the cheesecake. Now my oven is set at 350, and these are going to take I think it was 20 minutes that I cooked them at. 20. Hope that's what I put in the recipe. Look at that. I'm making a mess. I'm trying to go faster here. Sorry, people. I mean, anybody who wanted to make a complete cheesecake of this certainly could do that as well. It would just probably take a little bit longer to bake if you put it in your pan, springform pan. I couldn't think of a name. And a cheesecake is done when you might shake it a little bit when it's in the oven, and you'll see there's a little jiggle in the center, but not a lot. Maybe around a 2-inch circle in the center. And if it just jiggles a little bit at that place, you're good. You're good. Okay. So I still have a little bit left. I'm going to share it amongst the first pan. And I'm pretty sure I have a temperature somewhere, what the internal temperature is, should be of my cheesecakes. And if you have a thermometer, it's the greatest thing. And I mean, it would just take a simple Google search to find out what the internal temperature should be for a baked cheesecake if you're making a large one. These really do come out of the oven in 20 minutes at 350, so I don't think you have to worry about today. Now I'm going to get a little paper towel and see if I can clean up my little mess there. Here we go. All right, there we go, people. Oh, I know, you can't go wrong with cheesecake. Cheesecake, anything is so good. And I mean, this one is even good with Mama's caramel sauce, the recipe, which is on the website there. If you didn't like chocolate and you just wanted that nice runny sauce, it doesn't firm up. But it's kind of thick. That's also really, really good. Yeah, they freeze well. Not that I've ever done that. Yeah, there you go. Okay, in at 350 for 20 minutes. Oh, seriously, Holly, the air conditioner, it's made a big difference in my kitchen this summer. I'll tell you that. Okay, hold on. Okay. 150 for internal temp. Thank you very much, Barb. Did you, Susan Lundy? Oh, you used Mama's sauce? I love it. I don't know what to, I can't help you with the darn video problems that are out there today. I swear to God, if it was pouring down rain, I could understand why we would have some glitches in this live streaming, but it's really strange. So let's just sit down and have a little chat. Maybe I'll get my girls to come up and. Sorry, I don't do that. And there's my my Alexa. She's listening to me, and I have to tell you a funny story about Alexa. The other day, I said her name, and I asked her to play a Cape Breton fiddle tune. And just prior to that, Cecil had come downstairs, and he had a pair of socks in his hand, and he put his socks somewhere. He was looking around, looking for them, couldn't find them. And when I asked herself, Alexa, if she would play me Cape Breton fiddle tune, he chimed in, and maybe you can find my socks, he said, adding to it. Just before she played the Cape Breton fiddle tune, she said, maybe you should retrace your steps. Well, we got an awful kick out of that. We laughed a lot. You never know what these devices are recording in your home. Okay, so the cheesecakes are baking in the oven for 20 minutes. So we have lots of time to talk and have no entertainment. And I'm not going to make the chocolate ganache until I take them out of the oven. And actually, I'm going to just stick them in the fridge to chill for a little bit. And make the chocolate ganache and put it on the top. But I do have one cheesecake left over. But I think we'll just serve a warm one with the girls since they're here for tea too. Since they're here. I know, Tracy, isn't that hilarious? Sometimes she'll just speak up and you're trying to go back and figure out how, did I say something that sounded like Alexa? Okay, anyway, all right, I'm gonna sit in the chair here. The girls are rocking away over in the living room. And with you. Okay.
We don't need to be on camera.
There now. They're camera shy, and
Wasn't part of the deal.
they got me they got me into this mess, and now they don't want to be on camera. It's not fair. There now. So, no, I have to spell it. I don't like turning the thing off. I'll just leave it on. Our grandson, little Asher, comes over. I'm actually babysitting him tomorrow for the day, and he'll just stand below it, and he's saying something, but he's not saying her name, and we end up putting that song Baby Shark on repeat because he just loves it. Yes, that's happened to here too. When somebody just said that if the name is mentioned while the TV is on, she will respond. I know. Anyway, I do have my girls here if I need them. They're here for backup in case I run out of things to say. But I wanted to, of course, I just wanted to go back and just say what a wonderful night we had on Friday night at Brennan's. Yeah, somebody's just saying thank you to Tammy and to Margie for helping with this and for getting it started. But yeah, we all landed at Brennan's on Friday night, and the reason it was the only night that we could all get together, Gordy is just home for 6 days, and he's going back on Tuesday. And Brennan was working late on Friday, a little late, and on Saturday night he and our daughter Kelly had a gig, a private gig, doing a private home gig, and they couldn't back out of that, so they couldn't come to Cape Breton, and so we went to them, and we just had a great time, and there wasn't hardly an ounce of sleep got by anybody overnight on Friday night, and we came back yesterday afternoon. So we had a really nice time, and we did get a couple of pictures, and the two that I posted were the best ones that we could come up. There were others that were definitely not able to be posted. So I have a happy birthday here to Emily Drevko from Port Coquitlam, BC. And Emily is turning 8 tomorrow. So happy birthday, Emily. And I also want to tell you, I've been talking a couple of times about the the Cape Breton tour that I'm co-hosting this fall. Well, I just want to thank some of you. I'm going to get to meet some of you. The bookings have been coming in, and the reservations and all of that is going really well, so pretty excited about that. But if anybody wants to know more, certainly Google Sandy Travel Tours, and you'll get the website and more information there on any of the tours that are going on there. But I also wanted to mention to you, every summer there is a great festival that takes place on Cape Breton Island, and it usually happens in late June into the 1st of July, and it's called Kitchen Fest, and it's about 4 or 5 days of an island-wide concerts and little mini concerts too, featuring Cape Breton talent, which you've seen quite a few of those acts right here on Tunes and Wooden Spoons. They've been so generous with their time. So it's encouraging everybody to take in these concerts, and they're actual live concerts this year now that things have been lifted, and I don't know the numbers. They're still following the numbers. But if you want to know more, if you're here in Cape Breton or here in Nova Scotia and you want to come, it's from August the 27th to September the 4th. And if you go to the website kitchenfest.ca, you'll get the schedule and all of that. So they encourage everybody to come and to enjoy, and to also enjoy the local food and support the local restaurants, which I'm sure you all will. Anyway, yes, sometimes it is hard to get a posed picture of families. Doesn't always happen. Ganache, do you know what? Ganache, it's the easiest thing to make. It's all ganache is chocolate and cream. And that's it. And you can't go wrong. And there's probably a very serious old style way of making it with proper chocolate and all of that stuff. All this ganache is a cup of chocolate chips, semi-sweet chocolate chips. I mean, you want to get the real good stuff, I'm sure you can. But a cup of the pieces of chocolate, or in this case, chocolate chips, and a half a cup of cream. And you have to have the cream hot. So I will be microwaving the cream, half a cup of cream. And all you do is then pour it over. Make sure you kind of have a narrow bottom bowl. I'm going to be using my Pampered Chef 4-cup measure. And I'm going to put the cup of chocolate chips in here. And I'm going to pour the very hot cream. I'm using heavy cream, or it's whipping cream. It's 35% fat. I'm going to heat that in the microwave. I'm going to pour it over the chocolate chips, and I'm not going to touch it for 3 minutes. And after the 3 minutes, I am going to stir it, and it all comes together into this decadent goodness that you can use on a cake even. And I have one left over from the other day. So it's the cream keeps it kind of, these have been in the fridge, but they're still pretty good. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to ask me or Tammy or Margie? Mary Jan, I forgot the dates for your tour you're co-hosting. I should know that, shouldn't I? It's October. It's in October, early October, until, geez, is it the 6th to the 8th or something like that? I will look that up for you right this minute. Just bear with me. And I will let you know. So it's sandytraveltours.ca and Escorted Tours. And I'm going to click on the very first one in blue on that website is the Cape Breton Tour. it's a lovely picture here. October the 5th to the 8th. And it's featuring the west side of the island. It's featuring Inverness County. And if you click on it, the itinerary is there. And Ron is open to anybody. You know, if you're not from around here and you want to fly in, have a little vacation in Nova Scotia and then join the tour, it's good. You're good to go. And lots of exciting things. So just check that website out, and it's 877-726-3947. The toll-free number, 877-726-3947. And so I know I'm going to meet some of you guys. That's wonderful. Yes. Okay. Do Tammy and Margie sing or play instruments?
Not today.
Not today, they're saying. Oh, shoot. Would somebody ask me a Pampered Chef question there, and I missed it? Tell us a story about your mom that you remember from my childhood. Well, you know, my real mom, I didn't have very many memories of that. And actually, in the cookbook, it's you know, in the cookbook, the publishers were asking me to that I had to do an introduction, and everything was kind of little short things that we had to do. So, okay, so I did a 1-paragraph introduction, and I felt, you know, that's pretty nice because I was capturing my mother, my mama, who raised me, and my mother-in-law, and I kind of captured them in that 1 paragraph and whatever, and I was happy with that. But the publishing came back, they said, no, we would love your, I don't care how long it is, your kind of your life story. And it's like an examination of your life, and to put it on paper, and making sure that you remember everybody you want to remember. And so there's lots of things like that. So I didn't have very many memories of my mother because I was 3 and a half when she died. But I have lots of memories of Mama. So I'll tell you a memory I have of Mama. And Mama was Maggie Ann, and she was a Cameron before she was married. She was one of 9 children, and her sister Mary Cassie was my grandmother. And when my mother was sick and dying, as I've told you many times, I moved into my grandaunt's home in southwest Mabu. But before Mama was ever married, she lived on the farm with her siblings and helped out on the farm. And she was a big, strapping woman, born in 1902. And she died in 1995 at the age of 93. Oh, she was just a beauty of a woman. And she was strict, and she set the rules out for me and for her own, but she was especially hard on me because I think she was a generation older than my mother would have been. But I had to toe the mark. By gosh, if the dance was over at 1 o'clock, I had to be home at 1:02, it seemed. But before she married, she was late marrying. She worked in the Boston States, as she used to say, the Boston States, and she would make. She worked for a wealthy family, and she was the dessert lady. And one of the things that I always wanted to do on the show, but that I have never made because I never got her recipe, was Bavarian cream, a Bavarian cream pudding. And I actually went out and I bought the gelatin, and I have these nice little glass dessert dishes, and I really wanted to make it because she used to make this very fine chocolate sauce, which I shared her recipe. But the Bavarian cream was made with gelatin, and sometimes she would put it in the dish, and it would set like with the gelatin in it, and it was like a vanilla custard, but kind of jellied in a way. And sometimes she'd put it in a really nice round bowl, and then when it was all set, she would put it upside down on a plate, and she would drizzle this chocolate sauce over the top. And it was just really, it was just something really special. I guess I equated it to, well, these were really rich people that she worked for, and this was kind of a delicacy dessert that she would make. And I never did get the recipe, but sometimes when I'd get home from school, she would make that for me. Very often she would make the chocolate pudding. That was a big thing. But the chocolate, the Bavarian cream, I think she called it Bavarian cream pie, but it wasn't a pie, but she called it Bavarian cream pie. It was always in a nice little dessert dish. So I am going to try that someday, and maybe I'll just try it from scratch with you guys, and we can ruin it all together just for fun, you know? But the story I wanted to tell you about Mama involves step dancing, and I loved when I was teaching dancing to the many classes that I would be with. I would share a story about Mama, and this story especially, and it was told to me. Mama didn't tell me this story. The story was told to me by my other grandaunt, Sarah Ann, who raised my baby brother, because both grandaunts took each took a child from my mom and dad, so my father would just be able to look after the three oldest. So this is the story. She was in the old farmhouse, and she operated a knitting machine, and the knitting machine had all these little stainless steel, a circle of stainless steel needles that would come up as you turned the handle, and they made this really clear, rhythmic, clickety sounds as she would turn the handle. And while she made the tube of the sock, and then she would remove it, she'd knit up the heel, put it back on, and make the sole up to the toe before she had to start reducing to make the toe on this machine. So many people depended on her to make the socks. And while she did that, she would jig the tunes, what we call jigging the tunes. And I think I might have even told you this before, but I forget what I've told you about my life. I think you know everything about me. But she would go, and when she was doing this, she was turning the wheel in time. And sometimes she'd do jigs, sometimes she would do just depending on what the speed was that she wanted to use at that time. But her father was called Big Dan Cameron, born around 1850. And he was outside using the outdoor toilet. In those days, there was no indoor plumbing. And he came in, and he was standing in the porch, and he had, my grandaunt Sarah Ann was sitting at the dining room table, and she was watching Maggie Ann, Mama, on this knitting machine. And he had bib overhauls on, but he only had one bib brace hooked up. The other one was hanging down. I just envisioned this. And the way she told it to me, and she said, I think he had a plaid shirt on, so I like that. Tammy, you're going to take them out of the oven. Yeah. And also, he had his work boots on. Not big rubber boots, but a hard sole boot. He, born in 1850, was a renowned step dancer. A renowned step dancer, and would dance at local concerts. He was known for his dancing, and he actually used to go to a dance master sometimes that would be a traveling dance master. How do they look, Tam? Great. Do you want to bring one pan over so they can just see the top? And I'll just finish my story up. Yeah, there. Okay, so there it.
Want to burn you?
Yeah, there they are with the little crack on the top. You see that? And so we're going to, it's perfect. Perfect, Tammy. And it's nice to have help. So Tammy, what we have to do is there any way that you could find a spot in the fridge for those? You might want to put them on a flat, one of my metal cookie sheets, and just, you know, layer it in on that second shelf there. We're going to rush cool them so that we can make the ganache. So anyway, he was standing there in the porch with these hard-soled shoes on, and being a wonderful step dancer, and God knows how old he would have been then. He probably would have been 50, 60, 70 years old, I would bet, because it might have been about 1920. Mama would have been 18, something like that. And Sarah Ann said that he just put his head back and he closed his eyes, and what Sarah Ann said, he just came back on her. And what that means is he step danced, and he step danced like the music was so good that he was hearing that he couldn't, as tired as he was after a long day of work, he had to dance. And people used to say that Mama knew the tunes better than any fiddle player. Isn't that a wonderful? I just love to envision that picture in that old Cape Breton kitchen of long ago, with the big old wood fire burning in the stove, and you know, the walls had big wide wooden boards and painted, and I don't know, it's just such a nice story for me to imagine. And so that's a story. And here we cooked the cheesecakes and you know, the people did what they could. And the funny part of that story is Sarah Ann said he step danced in the porch. Maggie Ann just kept on going. She was oblivious because she would get lost in the music. She loved it that much. And the turn of the tune, she would go on to the next tune, and the sock was being knitted. And Susan Lundy, she just mentioned the tour. She is coming to Cape Breton to go on the tour that I'm co-hosting. I'm so excited, and she's bringing somebody else with her as well. So that is awesome. But anyway, there's the story for you. So if there's any Cape Bretoners out there from long ago, you'll remember the old style kitchens that they have. And I guess that's also the connection that I felt with that song, This Old House, that you guys, some of you have mentioned that you really felt a connection to, because all of those old homes are gone. That old home that Mama grew up in, I don't know when it was torn down, but it was, there was a Dutch family. When the Dutch came to Canada and to our area after the war, they bought that land and they farmed that land, but that piece was sold off by the family, and where I was raised was kind of across the road in another large area. So there now. Are we ready to make the ganache? And I'm just going to leave them in there for about 10 minutes, and then yes, okay, I'm busy reading. I shouldn't be reading and talking at the same time, because I very easily lose my place. Okay, I'm going to make the ganache, and then we'll have tea. Okay. All right, so in here I'm going to put a cup of chocolate chips. All right. Hi, Marilyn Sangster. Marilyn is a wonderful friend. Okay. Can you all see this? Okay, I'm going to put there. I'm going to get those girls to make tea. Margie, you might as well turn the kettle on. So I'm using semi-sweet chocolate chips. And in here I have a half a cup of cream. It's 35% cream. It's equivalent to heavy cream. And depends on what you have, but I think the heavy cream is ultimately the best thing that you should use because it makes it richer, okay? So I'm gonna put it in for about 30 seconds and I'm just gonna have a feel how that feels, and I probably will put it in for a little bit longer. I probably should have taken an internal temperature but basically you're looking for a scalded milk temperature, which is around 180 degrees with your thermometer. So I'm just gonna put it in for 30 seconds and see what happens. There. You can just see my messy stove. There we go. I'm gonna test my thermometer. I'm gonna look for 180 or a little bit higher. Okay, it's not there yet. It's almost there. I'm going to try it for another 20 seconds. And sometimes you'll have a little skim on the top, which is fine too. Okay, ready? Okay, Margie, the kettle's boiling. Gotta make the tea. Margie doesn't drink tea. She's not a true Cape Bretoner. Okay, I'm gonna spill this all over chocolate chips. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. No. Somebody likes my earrings? I have no idea. Dorothy Cox Blackhater. Blackhater, I am on my hammock watching you bake. Good for you. Enjoy, enjoy. And here I am in the heat, baking because I have to. And I don't mind, I really don't mind. I was gonna tell you next week, definitely having talent next week. We have a local singer, Eddie Cummings, that is going to be, he's formerly from Mabu. And he's going to be entertaining for us. He's a great singer, does lots of gigs. These musicians that haven't had gigs in a long, long time. And what we're making, I'm going to be making regularly with the coconut. But 1 more minute, my oven says. I'm freezing again, Tina, am I? Sorry. Don't know what's happening with the freezing. So is anybody out there traveling to Cape Breton this year? You come into Nova Scotia, those of you who are not from our area but want to visit, tell me your plans. Are you coming to Port Hood? Still freezing. I don't know. That's right. Okay, we're back. We are back. All right. So the 3-minute timer just went off. So I'm going to turn this down and I'm going to start mixing the ganache. I'm just going to use a little spoon. And I'm going to start stirring that nice and slowly. God, I wonder who invented making things from a chocolate cocoa pod, realizing how good it was going to be and addictive. Look at that. Smells so amazing. Okay, we're gonna get our cheesecakes. There's one. And they really didn't dip down a lot, but basically what I'll do is I'm going to take them out of the pan. Tammy, if you were get me like 3 little white plates. We're gonna have warm ones. So I'm just gonna put a spoonful on each one. Oh my God, if you're not baking with me, that smell will just knock you out. It's just, if you're a chocolate lover, it's so good. So use it all up because there's no sense in having this hanging around. Just put a little bit more on every one if you have the extra. I think I got that guy. Okay? I'm just going to spread it out. I mean, we could drizzle it if we wanted, but there's just so, this makes so much ganache. I mean, you could probably split the recipe so you wouldn't have so much, but this is just really nice the way it is. And we're rushing it here by having it for tea with you, but can't leave without having tea. Not in a Cape Breton kitchen anyway. Now I am going to plop 1 or 2 more pieces of pecans on the top. You get the idea. And you can sprinkle them on if you like to. And I did tell you that you don't have to use any nuts at all, and you don't have to use any base at all. You could just have the cheesecake part. That's fine too. And of course, Mitchell always has lots of ideas, and he said, Mom, when the next time you make them, don't use the pecan pieces. Get the whole pecan, and then you could put one really pretty on the top. Imagine. And I have 3 bags of pecans in my cupboard, so I wasn't going to, and they're all pieces. But there we go. I have more pecans, but this is good for now. So Tammy has pieces, so I am going to take this one out. See that? And here it is. Can you see that? Oh my God, doesn't that look good? Okay, and the 3 of us are going to have tea with you today. And except for Margie, I don't know what she's going to have. That non-Cape Breton, or the one that started all this, doesn't like tea. I don't know what I did wrong there. I have my little china cup and saucer already there to the left of the stove, Tammy, if you want to pour my tea. The milk's already in it. And Margie, you can get 3 small forks. And look at my fingernails. I have to wash my hands. And the 3 of us will have, it's just they really are. So I'm going to put them over on the counter. And I'm going to wash my hands. Okay. Side of the table. There we are. There's Tammy. And where are you sitting? I think I'll sit right here so that I can close it off. And girls need a napkin. Are you jealous? There now. There now. Okay, so see if we can get the 3 of us. There we go. There we go. So there's 2 of my 4 girls. Krista was here, and she left before the show because she had to get back to Halifax. She couldn't stay for the show. But they'll be down another weekend that we can include them as well. Yeah, they're pretty beautiful ladies, that's for sure. So, let's all have a little taste.
Okay.
Honestly, see if you like it.
terrible. No, it's so good.
Isn't that good?
Well worth the flight here.
Do you know what? I think I actually like it better warm
It's really nice.
than chilled. This is really, really, really decadent. And not that hard.
So since I'm not having tea, can I have two?
You can have two.
I was always so jealous of all the siblings being able to be on your show and be a part of this. But this is very stressful, and I don't want to be in any more shows. This is not for me. I'm happy being in the background.
Imagine.
I don't know how you do this every Sunday.
Well, you know what it is, Tammy? This is. I used to get anxious, and I didn't want to stop, and I get anxious before every show, and I'm thinking, what am I doing? You know, I'm from Port Hood. I'm here, and what can I show these people how to bake? Basically, that's exactly what I was thinking. And you know, like I'm no good at decorating, and not fancy.
That's why everyone loves you. Yes. Yeah, because you're
But-
just you.
But then I had to stop and give myself a shake and said, you know what? There's people out there. They're alone. They're have nobody that they can be with. Everybody's terrified and scared. They're going to get COVID, and I had to start thinking about, okay, on Sunday, so and so and so and so is coming for a visit. They're coming for a visit, and I have to make something for tea. And you know what? The butterflies went away.
Yeah.
The butterflies went away because I said they're coming for a visit. And sometimes I wouldn't look at the number that is on the screen, and I'd say, oh my God, there's that many people watching? Because there used to be a lot of people watching when everybody was confined in home. In the summertime, there's not going to be very many people watching because why would they? They put their oven on, like me, like a fool. But, you know, they want to go to the beach, and they want to, you know, get out there now that you kind of can. And here, we're making a cookbook. This is so crazy. Can't believe it myself.
And we used to throw away your cinnamon rolls. We were so sick of them.
Yeah, see, did you hear that?
We
And
did.
they traded them.
We did.
I automatically, when you were doing the ganache, I was like, I hope she lets me lick the bowl. I was like, give me that spoon.
I'm telling you that it's. I mean, all it is chocolate chips and cream.
I know.
So good.
It sounds so. So you know, like like next week I'm making the macaroons, but the week after that, I'm having. There's a band coming here, fiddle and piano and pipes. They're called Bioluk. So anyway, Mac Morin is the piano player, and he dropped in here last Sunday night, and we had so many laughs. As you've heard Mac, he's been on the show before, a wonderful piano player. So they're going to bake. They're going to bake too, or at least Mac is for sure. And he said, I want to make, and he said, what did I call it? Creme.
Anglaise?
Yeah, creme anglaise. And I said, in the name of God, what is that? It's basically a custard, not to be afraid of. And so I started making it with him, and him directing me. I ruined it.
We're going to need some novenas for that week.
It started to curdle. But when you make this creme anglaise, you can save it. And we saved it, and it was just like it was supposed to be. We ended up we didn't use the immersion blender, we used my actual blender, and it came out really beautiful. I cannot tell you how wonderful that visit was with Mac. He often drops in just, you know, I used to work with his mom, and we love to give hugs now that we're allowed to give hugs, and we had a really great visit. And he makes this creme anglaise because that was something I think that his mom used to make as well. But the laughing and the wonderful thing that happens when you're baking with people. And so anyway, just be aware that we could screw up again in a couple of weeks' time. But isn't that what baking is all about? Doesn't turn out well, we'll try and make it better the next time. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see what will happen. Look at you, Lucrezia Mondugo. I am watching you from Italy. Hello. My gosh. How are you? You're coming to this crazy Cape Breton kitchen. But anyway, I'm going to have one more bite with you before we finish off.
When you guys asked before for Mom to share a story about her mom, me and Tammy were thinking you might want us to share a story about her. And
oh dear.
No, this is good. This is fine. It's not even really a story. Somebody asked me not long ago what was the best piece of advice you ever got. And I think for us, our mom, how she always leaves everywhere better than she found it. And this is a massive example of that. We are so proud of her and so thankful that you visit with her every Sunday, because she certainly made my Sundays better the last year and a half. And thanks for all of your love and support to her.
Oh my
pretty
God.
awesome.
Thank you guys. Jace, we're an awful, tearful family.
Any chance to cry, we'll take it.
Oh my God. Anyway, they matter so much to me, but you also matter so much to me. I love you all. Thank you for coming week after week and enjoying whatever we're doing, you know, with music, without music, and filling the time and having a good visit. Look at them. I love them.
Great to be here.
We're just gonna eat our feelings. Everyone eat your feelings. That should be your slogan, Mom. Eat your feelings.
Eat your feelings. Okay, everybody. I love you. Love one another. Bye-bye.
Hey, hi, it's me, Charlie. If you like Grandma's video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. Give it a like and subscribe.